Hey guys, what's going on? Hermdo back with you. Hope you're having a good one. I was browsing around on TikTok and I found some interesting stuff that I would absolutely love to share with you. Let's go ahead and get into it. This is mostly about Gen Z in the workforce. Let's see if we can make my logo a little bit smaller. There we go. But yeah, let's get into it. Let me adjust it real quick. And there we go. Let's check out this TikTok from Advice from Lewis Reloaded.
Gen Z, they don't know what work actually means.
Why do you think that?
No! They don't know the definition of hard work. They're always complaining and they're lazy.
How are they lazy when you want to pay them minimum wage but expect them to go above and beyond in their job duties?
No!
See, that's just the thing. Like, when I was entering the workforce, like, millennials got the whole spiel about how you're going to have to work hard and you're not always going to be expecting to get paid the best. You're going to have to bust your ass for your boss, be kind of subservient to your boss, and it gets old. It gets old quick. I've worked job before, absolute shit work, absolute shit pay, but I was just told, it was pounded into my head that you should be grateful to have a job. You're lucky to have this job. You should be grateful to do any kind of work that people are willing to pay you for. And for the most part, Gen Z, well, some I'm sure are grateful to be working, and there are good workers. A lot of them are just like, fuck that shit. You're going to pay me what I'm worth. I'm not putting up with this bullshit. So, kudos to them. But let's watch a little bit. Wait, hold on. There, that's better. That's better. All right, let's watch a little bit more of this.
How dare they not want to slave away for 60 hours just to not be promoted? They just don't want to work.
How do they not want to work anymore? And people are filing thousands of job applications and hearing back from no one. It's almost as if the jobs are fake.
You mean the entry-level jobs that require 7 years experience? Why don't they take their jobs more seriously?
Because when they...
I got a meme I want to show you guys. Hold on one second. Yeah, this meme right here. I found this on Twitter a little while ago, but speaking of like putting in thousands of applications, getting absolutely no work back, this meme, this Wojak kind of looking meme, sums it up perfectly. Just like 10,735 days since a candidate's been called back, degree in making other people waste their time off. I love applicants, but I would never, ever, ever, ever hire one. Number one, resume trasher. So yeah, HR departments are absolutely god-awful. I don't know what the hell people are looking for these days, and which just kind of seems to like blithely accept that the job market is absolutely fucking cooked and there's like no fixing it, and we just get told we're lazy and we don't care enough. It's just a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of crap, you know? What does it take to get in the door at these companies? One of my videos I made a couple days ago talking about how you're going to have to like make sacrifices and take a job that sucks just so it looks good on your resume, so you have something on your resume besides just this big gap when you're not working. And people are getting pissed off about this kind of stuff. But yeah, it's getting absolutely ridiculous. But let's watch the rest of this TikTok here.
They finally do get a job, they get to the interview, and they're offered a way lower hourly wage than what was on the original.
When I was young, I put up with it, so they should too. I worked
Exactly. That's what you hear these days. I went through it, so you have to go through it too. That's what you hear from the boomers these days.
Self-love off to get where I am today, so why
I can't tell you the
they?
amount of people I know that have went above and beyond and received absolutely nothing but pats on the back for years.
It was good enough for me.
So why would somebody go above and beyond for a pay that's not going to match their efforts, especially when they're number one at their job?
Because they should sit there and take it just like I did. I didn't get an attitude, so why are they so angry?
They can't afford anything.
Yeah, because they have to.
Yeah, this is messed up. It's messed up. I mean, the way the work is, you're just expected to work, and now you're just expected to accept a wage for whatever kind of labor, and it doesn't match what it costs to live, you know. But we know that. I mean, Bernie's been talking about that for like 30 years. We know the score when it comes to that kind of shit, but just the way what we're expected to accept versus what we feel there's a big disconnect there. And let's get into this portion here. Talking about like working your way up the ladder.
Work their way up the ladder so they can buy a used car at
the
40.
billionaire corporation that can definitely afford to pay them more is
swell.
not paying them more. Wouldn't you be upset?
Gen Z has officially ruined America.
Everything is not an entire generation.
Because of them, we have less kids. Because of them, I'm angry. And because of them, social media exists.
If anybody's at fault here, it's the older generation for putting these horrible systems in place.
You're
the
wrong.
economy is at its all-time worst.
Bad. I bought my house for 3 grapes and a carrot. When I was their age, I had 5 kids. I walked 60 miles every day just to get to school in snow. Don't hire
Okay,
Gen Z.
so we see that kind of stuff there. Yeah. Minimum pay, minimum effort, looking at some of the comments here. Why would I go above and beyond for a pizza party? Yep, that's the thing. I've eaten a lot of pizza at work, and don't get me wrong, I'm a fat guy. I love pizza, but I'd like to get paid a little bit more rather than just eat pizza every couple months. But yeah, there's a lot more of these.
Okay, so why?
Let's check out this one here from Dana Kowalski. This is posted May of last year, but still relevant.
Okay, so why did you think it was okay to request time off? Because in our contract, it says that you give us PTO time, and I'm at the limit of my PTO time that I can have. So I'm using...
They make you feel so guilty about using PTO. They make you feel like you're committing a crime for using PTO. It's like the biggest thing. They always look at you side-eyed. You can work every day for like a year, not miss a day for a year, and the second you take some PTO you've earned, that's your money, that's your time that you've earned. And these guys absolutely freak out about it.
That time because I was given it. So you guys think you can just go on vacation whenever you want? We're short-staffed. Well, it's not my fault that we're short-staffed.
I can't tell you how many stories I hear about people like requesting time off and their boss like approves it, and then like the days go by, the weeks and months go by, and they get to the point they need to take the day off, and then all of a sudden their boss is like, "What do you mean you're taking a day off?" It's ridiculous. It's just no amount of notice is good enough. It's ridiculous, you know? And I've taken a few days off here and I've taken some sick days. I've taken my share of sick days. Because fuck it, I don't care anymore. I mean, I'm not working right now. I'm going back to a new job soon, but my last job, man, that place stressed me out. I took a couple extra days off, mental health days. Not a whole lot, maybe an extra day every couple of months. 2 days every couple of months or something, but you know, I just like, I needed that fucking time because just going into that fucking place was stressing me the fuck out, you know? And it wasn't a very physically demanding job, but it was a long job. I worked 10.5-hour days, man. That really piled on to you. And you're just doing the same shit over and over again. You know, I was assembling these small components and my hands were killing me. I'm pretty sure I got carpal tunnel in my hands. Maybe. But they've been sore as fuck still. It's just one of those things. I'm probably going to have to get some more x-rays or some shit, but it's just like, I need a break from that. I can't do that shit every day. And I see a lot of my younger Gen Z coworkers, a lot of them do well when they bother showing up. My Gen Z coworkers take tons of days off. When they're there, they work, they don't give any attitude, and they're good at what they do. They're able to hit rate, and it's no problem. But, you know, I show up, you know, I just say, fuck it. I mean, it's just like they can do the work probably easier than me because, you know, I'm pushing 40. Everybody else is in their early 20s. But, you know, at the same time, it just, if they're taking days off, I'm taking days off. Fuck it. You know, who cares? Never feel guilty about it.
Staff because you don't want to hire anyone. We've been trying to hire people for months. Like, people are just not qualified for these positions. Yes, but it's also not my fault that you require 2 years of experience and everyone that's applying is broke college students or people that just got out of college and are in serious debt.
Yeah, like the requirements for these jobs are obscene. I can understand like companies want to be more exacting, not to like defend like the HR departments or anything like that, but some of these The requirements are absolutely ridiculous. I can't tell you how many times I went in for an interview and they wanted, I mean, I read the application online, like what it is online, the job description and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm pretty qualified for this. And you get in and they keep asking you questions about shit you don't even know what the fuck it is. All this like different kind of software, different kind of technology and shit. You know, it's crazy. I mean, maybe it's my fault for being a dumbass. I don't know. But at the same time, it's just like, you need to make your goals clear. You know, you gotta, but at the same time, you're like, if you're an applicant for these jobs, if you're looking for a job, you got to make sure to have a clear line of communication with your boss. I mean, that's one thing you could criticize Gen Z for. Maybe they don't talk to their bosses enough. They kind of just figure, they just say, fuck it. They just either don't go to work or do a half-ass job. They don't care. But some places, you don't have a clear line of communication with your boss. Some bosses are closed door bosses. Some bosses are open door bosses. Some bosses you really can't talk to. Some places they'll work with you. You know, if you show up, you have a good attitude and shit like that. But, you know, a lot of places, I've worked in places where you absolutely could not talk to the boss. You couldn't level with him. You couldn't reason with him. You couldn't, you know, bargain with him. It was just a fucking mess. It was a fucking mess. And a lot of places are like that. I mean, unrealistic expectations and the fact a lot of these guys just think, like I said before, you just be grateful to have a job. And that's it. I only have to offer so much. I don't have to offer anything beyond this because I survived on this wage 20 years ago, 30 years ago. You can too. I put up with this bullshit. You can too. It's fucked.
Well, maybe they should have thought of that before they applied. How can you get experience if you just got out of college? Also, how can you get experience if no one wants to hire you? I have no comment. That's what I thought. And I also gave you this 2 months in advance, and I already have the planes booked. So I will be using my given PTO time to go on my week-long vacation, because in my contract, it says I can use my PTO time if I give you 2 weeks in advance, and I gave you 2 months. So I will be sipping a margarita in Mexico.
Some places you need to give like weeks in advance. My last place, to their credit, if you have to give them at least like 2 days advance, which is pretty reasonable. Some places they want you, if you want to take a day off, you got to plan that shit out weeks in advance. And some places, I've worked at places you got to give them like a month of notice if you want to take a day off. And it's like, you don't know what's going to happen. You might have to take PTO. Maybe somebody dies. You have to go to a funeral. Maybe there's a wedding or something. Maybe something happens, you know, some emergency happens. You got to be able to plan around it. Some places, I hear stories all the time. Somebody leaves for an emergency and they wind up getting fired. It's fucked up, you know?
In a month and a half, thank you. I don't think that's gonna work out. HR! Okay, so why did you...
All right. That was interesting. That was very interesting. But let's check this one out.
I love you all. You're beautiful. And never forget that everyone is a princess.
Very nice. Very funny. This is from Revolve. I'll let that little at the end.
And never forget that everyone is a princess.
Very nice. Very adorable. God, the fucking sound on some of these TikToks is so bad. But let's see what our good buddy Tim Dillon has to say.
This younger generation aren't apparently working themselves to death.
Some of them have figured out that the country's a scam. And here's the good news. They're not wrong. And when you figured out the country's a scam, you can approach it the way a con artist or a scammer would approach it, which is what a lot...
That's... Not to cut Tim off, of course. I like his rants for the most part. Tim's a funny guy. But he's kind of right about that, where it's just like, it's pretty much every man for himself. And if you want to make a good living, you're going to have to explore extra means, extra... let's just say, unconventional means to acquire money. You're going to have to scam and bullshit your way into higher paid positions and shit. You're going to have to gamble. You're going to have to grind. That's the way it is. I hate to say it, you know, that's an ugly truth. I've been talking about that for a while, for the last few months, you know, it's just like one of those things. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. Doing things the traditional way, following the boomer advice, that doesn't help anymore. It doesn't really help anymore. I mean, you're just going to get taken advantage of. These days, you know, when you understand how this country works and you're never going to get a fair shake, you got to just make your own way. Some guys can do that. A lot of guys can do that, but a lot more people really struggle with that kind of stuff because, you know, the way you're raised, the way you interact with the world, you know, you want to have a certain amount of respect for people, a certain amount of respect for things, but at a time, it's just like not even worth it. It's not worth it. You have to be kind of a grifting scumbag to get anywhere these days, you know. It's asinine, it's stupid, but that's just kind of the way it is.
A lot of them do. They invent mental health ailments they don't have. They take days off on end. They terrify their superiors into respecting their mediocre, shoddy quality of work. This is something that Gen Z has latched onto. This is something that I fully support. This is their way of rising through the ranks. They're taking advantage of people that they work with, making them tolerate less and less work and work of lower and lower quality because they've realized that a lot of this is bullshit. So they're like, why shouldn't I get in on it?
This younger generation.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to put it. That's the perfect way to put it. I mean, you just got to be doing all this extra shit. You got to have a bunch of side hustles. You got to fuck around. You know, you got to just use, you know, these days, you know, a lot of people are worried about woke stuff and not offending people. And I think Gen Z takes advantage of that. You know, just like a lot of people don't want to be, they don't want to be litigious. They don't want to, you know, get messed with, you know, as far as this kind of stuff goes. But yeah, some people use that to their advantage and they mess with people. It's it's not a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing, but it's just one of those things that kind of happens, you know. I mean, it's just like, you don't respect me, you're being a bigot or some shit like that, you know. Or it's just like, there's like ageism, ableism, a lot of these different isms people use, you know. It's just like, you know, you don't like me because I'm too young, you don't like me because I have a different ability, you don't like me because I'm LGBT, and it's just like, I don't know, part of me is kind of annoyed by it, but at the same time, it's just like, do whatever you got to do, man. If that's the way you get the advantage, I mean, that's the way you make decent money and kind of get out of a shitty situation. I mean, God bless you, more power to you. But let's check this guy out.
Trouble for Gen Z in the workplace. Employers are reporting that this generation is the most difficult to work with.
You want to know what's funny? Come here. It's not that the new generation is more difficult to work with. It's that the older generation is more difficult to work for, right? Because in the article, it further explains that the newer generation is more difficult to work with, right? Because apparently they're easily offended. Get so close right now. I promise you it's the older generation that is more offended than anybody else. If you don't believe me, go to your boss and ask for a raise and watch how offended everybody gets, right? Or put in your 2-week notice and watch how personal your boss takes that, right? Another reason was apparently the new generation is untrustworthy. I promise you, during your job interview, when your boss says, we're like a family, and then you have to take a day off because it's a personal issue, watch them make you feel so guilty for doing so, right? And lastly, they said that the newer generation apparently are lazy. It's not that they're lazy. They're not getting paid enough to do more than what they're already hired to do. That's not called being lazy. That's called taking a stance and having standards.
Trouble.
Okay, yep. You got to have standards. You got to be able to stick up for yourself. You got to be able to not take bullshit. That's the thing. Some people take bullshit, you know. I mean, I repeated it over and over in this video. You're going to have to stand up for yourself. You're going to have to be assertive in some way. Some people aren't interested in that, and they're just kind of going along to get along and just eating shit along the way. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. But yeah, what do you guys think about that? Are you guys Gen Z? What do you think? Leave a comment down below in the reply section of the YouTube video, and let me know what you guys think about this kind of stuff. You know, are you in the workforce right now? Are you struggling to find work? I'm between jobs right now, but I'm going back, you know, hopefully everything works out all right. My ex-boss that I'm going back to work for is kind of a nut job, but it's just one of those things. You got to just kind of take it as it comes. Just kind of deal with it, you know. I mean, there's going to be some times you're not going to have any options. You're just going to have to take it. Sit back and take it. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys right now. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later.